Hey, good morning, everyone. Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures. Welcome in. Hey, great eye finds. Angel Inge 237. Hey, Courtney, Bolo Buddies is in the house. Thanks for stopping by this morning. TDix 14. Ali Mia, BWS Shot. Appreciate everybody stopping by. This is my normal, just Monday morning chat show I do every week. We just get together, a quick 30 minutes, talk about some of the stuff we did over the past week, some of the stuff we found over the weekend. I actually went to a really cool estate sale last week and found a bunch of ephemera stuff that at some point will be coming to Whatnot most likely. And then we will finish the show with the giveaway and then we'll raid somebody. So that's kind of what we do every Monday morning. Helps me get my week started off on the right foot and just kind of get motivated for the week. And hopefully it helps motivate somebody else as well. So this will be our giveaway today. This really cute cabinet card of a baby. And it says that it is, I think it says Reed, but it's either, no, maybe it's Neil. It's either Reed or Neil. But anyway, 1889 is the date. Looks like perhaps that was written in later. So, but Neil or Reed sitting in front of a tree. Hey, Heritage Daisy, welcome in. Lady Seal. And I'm sure I'm butchering people's names as I always do. But anybody else do anything exciting over the weekend? My weekend, Saturday and Sunday, was pretty much filled up working at the Antique Mall in Clinton at Granny's Attic. I worked there both Saturday and Sunday, and let me tell you, it was painfully slow yesterday, especially. I think part of it's just because it's been so hot here in Knoxville. I think I wrote 5 tickets all day long yesterday. So in 4 hours, we're open from 1 to 5 on Sunday. So yes, very, 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 very slow. Yesterday and Saturday for a Saturday wasn't really that much better. Um, I mean, we did okay, but it was once again, I think it was just so hot on Saturday. But the good news is we have a big change coming in the weather. It's supposed to rain today, and then behind that, I guess it's a cold front. So the highs the rest of the week are low 80s, high 70s. So we get that for a week, and then next week it heats right back up. But hey, we'll take any break we can get from the heat, even for a short amount of time. I don't know what the weather's like for everybody else. I know my daughter lives in Houston, and they're absolutely miserable as well, probably even more so than we are here in Knoxville. Hey, Chris Hamsey, Lisa Horvath 73. Appreciate y'all stopping by. Uh, yeah, if anybody else did anything exciting over the weekend, just pop that down in the chat. Hey, Raleigh Marie 45. Appreciate you stopping by. Restario, thanks a lot for coming in. For anybody who's just joining, I am Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures. I do this show every Monday morning, 8:30 Eastern Time. Just a quick 30-minute show. Usually I'll go over some of the things I found over the weekend. And I mean, I don't know what it's been like for everybody else, but yard sales have been like terrible this summer. I think it's the heat and just, I don't know, but there have not there has not been much selection in yard sales. I did find a couple on Friday and then found one going to the antique mall on Saturday. And then I went to a really good estate sale last week, as I mentioned, where they had a bunch of ephemera that will eventually be coming to Whatnot. Hey, Gina. Speaking of my antique malls, Gina is the manager of West End Antiques in Knoxville, Tennessee. So if you're ever passing through the area, you can, if you're coming from up north, you can get off at the Clinton exit and go to Granny's Attic in downtown Clinton. That's a real neat area. There's somewhere between, I think, depending on what you constitute an antique shop, because there's some that are more gift type shops, but there's, 8 to 10 shops all within walking distance, and most of them are antique shops. And then the first weekend in October is the big fall festival in Clinton. So that's worth a trip to the area to come to because it's really big. I mean, they close down all the streets. They have food vendors. They have live music. Pretty much all the antique shops in town will be running sales. So yeah, if you can make it to Clinton the first week in October, it's definitely a worth a trip. Hey, Brock Smith 1009 Twin 57. Thanks for stopping in. Hey, Zimmel Jess, appreciate you stopping by. And then if you're coming through Knoxville, you can get off at the West Hills exit, which is where West Town Mall is, and West End Antiques is right off that exit. It's between Olive Garden and IHOP. So it's actually in an old florist, but we have a booth there. And then just down the road at Bearden Antique Mall, we also have a booth there as well. So yeah, if you're ever in Knoxville, holler at me and maybe I can meet you out at one of the malls. I've actually met several people in person at the malls, or just people either I've met on Whatnot or through other reselling channels. Hey, Lady Tagalong 1997, Kelly at 1111. Thanks for coming in. So as I mentioned, I went to a cool estate sale this weekend. I'll just show you some of the stuff I found um, out perusing the yard sales and estate sales over the last week. I did get this, and I like this pickup. This actually came from a guy who comes into one of the antique malls, and I bought this from him. And it's one of the Stephen Barrys. It's a Tennessee jacket. And of course, Tennessee's doing really well, they're projected to do really well in football this year. So, I mean, I paid $10 for this, and looking at comps, it should easily sell for $50, 40 to 50. So I'm going to get this listed today, before football season starts. That way, if Tennessee slips up and loses, the jacket won't crash in value. But with the anticipation of how well Tennessee's going to do this year, this should be a really, really easy sell. This is Gina. It's an extra large. So, do you know somebody who might want it? Yeah, I was debating on whether to sell it locally or just put it online. Oh, you? Well, yeah, if you were to want it, $40. So just let me know. And then, so if we start digging into my bag of ephemera here that I got, it's ephemera and some other miscellaneous things. Got a bunch of cabinet cards. They were just like a whole stack of them. So got this fine looking group of children here. It says that is Grandpa and Grandma Yost. So this must have been two of their grandparents, I guess. I don't know. That's weird, because it wouldn't be both their grandparents if they were together as a kid. But in any case, and some of these have some condition issues, but I bought the whole stack of them and they cost next to nothing. So I love cabinet cards, though. Just the images. Look at I guess it's a father with his two daughters, and look at the eyes on these girls. They're kind of creepy looking. A lot of old photographs are very creepy. I don't think the kids are dead or anything, but they're still creepy looking. Oh, and then here's another little girl. That one's Nell Kenter. This one says Mary on it. So anyway, just got a bunch of these old photographs. Show you, there's another kid. I'm wondering if you can see the mom's arm somewhere in there. I guess this is probably, well, I can't tell if the mom's arm would be like right here, or if that's just another arm of the chair holding the kid up. So see if there's any of these others that look cool. I love the backs of cabinet cards when they put the artwork on them. So anyway, got a whole bunch of those. Haven't really looked through all this stuff. I just grabbed the stack and threw it in my bag. I thought this was cool. It's a 1905. Make sure that sticker will come off. A 1905 Maryland Medical College. Is it a graduation thing? Let's see. It's got like a vellum cover, and it's in really good condition. It's got the calling card inside it. It says, P.S. Please. It's so hard to read writing from back in the day, but look at the artwork in there. That is so cool. This must be a graduation booklet. Let's see. Yeah, so it's got like the whole class roll. So anyway, that was in with the stuff I got. Yeah, the more you look at that artwork, the more detail it's got. That's really cool. Hey, Kelsey Lineberger, welcome in. Kristen Marizio, Second Love Thrifter. Appreciate y'all stopping by. I'm Stuart with Franklin Hill Ventures. I do this every Monday morning for about 30 minutes, and we just kind of go through some of the stuff I found over the weekend. Y'all tell me about any exciting finds or anything exciting y'all did over the weekend. And then we'll do a giveaway right at 5 till, and then we'll go find somebody to raid. I picked these up more for me just because, I mean, they're not old. I don't know when they were put together exactly, but they're two DVDs. I think they're, DVDs, and they're about Oak Ridge. So I haven't watched them yet, but this is the slideshow of a photographer, and I'm guessing it's just going to be the whole history of Oak Ridge. And if you're not familiar with Oak Ridge, when they developed the atomic bomb, Oak Ridge is where they enrich the uranium, I believe. Yeah, and then, of course, with the movie out right now, golly, I've gone blank on what it's called. Somebody, Oppenheimer. That's where they developed the atomic bomb. Oak Ridge is where they did the plutonium, and then the other place in Washington, I think, is they did one of the other things up there. Somebody can type it in the chat. I can't remember. So anyway, there's something about the Y12 plant. So I thought those would be fun to look at. I don't know if they'll sell or not, but I bought those more just for me. And then this was some kind of magazine about Plymouth cars. I don't know if that's all it's about. I really didn't look at it. I just saw the cover and I really liked it, but it's got, let's see it's True Yesterday's the name of the magazine. And then, but it must be from the 40s because it's got all kind of military ads and stuff on the inside. It's kind of hard to show this without messing it up while I'm sitting here. But like, here's something about Berlin's destruction. I love old magazines because of the ads and stuff. Let's pry into great Grandpappy's past. And they're digging through a trunk with all of his stuff in there. So anyway, I picked up that magazine. Then I thought this was cool. I don't know what it is, and it's not in great condition, but it's a poster of some sort. I don't know. This was in a house in Oak Ridge. I'm not going to try to unfold it, but it's some downtown building. So at some point, I'm going to unfold it. Probably sometime today, I'm going to unfold it down on the floor and see exactly what it is. See if it's got any information. Like, here's a view. Here's a street view here. Well, that's obviously not Oak Ridge because there's nothing like that in Oak Ridge. But it says Smith Gary. So that gives me like a business I can start looking at if you look there. So, whoops. Yeah. So that'll be fun to do some research on there. Hey, welcome in Charmix, Al B Vintage, Jackie Fishes, Simply Smith. Anybody I missed over on YouTube, if anybody's coming over there, you can click on the link to come on over here to Whatnot. Appreciate everybody stopping by this morning. Let's see what else we got. Here's an Oak Ridge coloring book, and it was completely unused, but it's got like examples of all the different houses in Oak Ridge. So there's still, most of these houses still exist. And so what they did, they all have like, they're named like A house, B house, D house, C house, and they they weren't prefab, I don't think, but they put them up really quickly. And it's depending on what your level was in the Oak Ridge project, you would either live in the huts down in the hut village, all the way up to I guess the D houses maybe were the biggest ones. But my mother-in-law lives in one of the A houses. I mean, it looks almost exactly like that. So, and then there was the D house there, the larger one. Then I guess they made a flat top version as well. Hey, welcome in, Mel Brooks. Appreciate you stopping by. We're just looking through some of the stuff I got at this estate sale on, I think it was on Friday of last week. I don't know that this is old. It's just like a plastic tray, but I really like the pattern on this, so it'll look good in my booth to put stuff on, if nothing else, even if it doesn't sell. But it was only $3, so I went ahead and picked it up. Oh, and then got like this yearbook from Knoxville High School, and it was this was actually put out in the 80s, and it was, I guess, a class reunion type of thing, and it's a history of Knoxville High School, but it looks like it's got like old pictures from different yearbooks throughout the years. So that should sell really well in one of the booths here in Knoxville since it's local history. And then I love old books, and I thought this was really cool. It's little pictures of Japan. And look at the artwork in this thing. Is that not beautiful? It does have a few condition issues, like there was a page torn here. I think that was the only page I saw that was torn in my quick looking through it. But it's a lot of different little poems and such. So I haven't done any research on that to find out what I might sell it for. But all the books were like $2, so I picked it up. And then there's this big old thick, I don't know if it's worth anything, but once again, it's like local Oak Ridge stuff. I mean, I did pay a little more for this one, $10, but it's specifications for the construction of the heavy ion facility at the Holyfield National Laboratory in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and it's from the U.S. Energy Research and Development Administration, and it's from 1975. So they must have been building a new like laboratory or plant in Oak Ridge, and this is just a whole booklet about, I guess, the construction. I have found that like any of this old Oak Ridge stuff sells really well, just because people like the history of Oak Ridge. So, hey, welcome in Milky Way 3. Appreciate you stopping by. And then this is the thing that I'm just looking forward to looking through. It was like an old ledger. So you can see, yeah, here we go. It was a college loose leaf binder, and it's just jam packed full of stuff. I mean, it was $15. I just grabbed it. I hadn't even looked through it yet, so I have no idea what's in here. We'll look for the first time together on some of this stuff. Let's see. Here's some snippings from an 1883 paper. I'm not sure what they were cutting out. Here's some kind of, oh, this is cool. Here's a Hammond's large-scale war map of the Western Front. I'm going to assume this one's World War I. It's from the National State and City Bank in Richmond, Virginia. Let's see what the map looks like. See if I can unfold it without messing anything up. Oh, it's big. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hold it up, but let's see. Yeah, anyway, you can see this thing folds out. I'll have to do that later when I can kind of spread out a little more, but I thought that was really neat. So if it does happen to be World War I, that should sell pretty easily. Here's a bunch of handwritten letters from the 20s. And they're on Vogue, the Vogue Incorporated letterhead in Gadsden, Alabama. Looks like maybe they're all on that letterhead. It's ready, ladies ready to wear millinery hose, etc. So I don't know. I'll have to see what the content of that is. I do have, speaking of cool letters, I'll have to pull it down if I can and show it in just a second. It was a letter from the like 1800s pre-Civil War, and it was somebody's will, and It was like a letter contesting a will, and it was some kind of lawsuit. But it's interesting, and I'm wondering if somebody does genealogy would like this. It lists like all their assets, including slaves, and it lists like birth dates, names. I mean, it's got so much information in it. I could see somebody maybe doing genealogy who would like to have something like that. Yeah, here's a bunch more of these letters from the Vogue Incorporated. So, hey, welcome in, Junk Paper Scissors. We are just going through some stuff that I got at an estate sale this weekend. So I wonder if these people either owned the Vogue, because here's stock certificates for the Vogue. And they are from 1926. There's actually a couple of those. Then you have store expenses. So I don't know, maybe these are store expenses for that same thing. But there's a bunch of those. I like when they used to use the straight pins instead of staples. So I would constantly be sticking myself, I think, if I were to try to use one of those. Yep, that's what this is. So they must have owned the Vogue, because here's Labor Day something. On late. So this is like, these are all their different ledgers from each day. So this says Labor Day, open a half a day, September 6th, 1926, I think. So there's a bunch of these. I don't know if there'll be much value in these, but they're still cool. I think for $15, even if I sold none of this, it was worth it just to be able to look through this. I don't know about y'all, but I love looking through old paper like this. Ephemera is kind of my passion, and Whatnot's really, I always liked paper, but Whatnot really, really like amped that up. Yeah, so there's a bunch of these. I don't know if it represents a certain period of time or if these are just random, but this looks like inventory, like where they were either doing inventory or where they had bought inventory, because it talks about different colored coats and other clothes. Says these are the coats sent back to somebody. They do not have the price on them. You have the bill. You will have to get the price from somebody. So there's all kind of these ledgers. So far my favorite thing in here, I think, has been that map. Here's bill heads for different things. I love when I come across like the ability just to buy like one thing and get a bunch of stuff. Here's a bill head for tuck away for a rainy day, the perfect grip umbrella. So it's some kind of umbrella company. They were made in Baltimore. So they were in Baltimore, Maryland. So it looks like maybe they ordered a bunch of these. Here's something from the Premier Hat Company. So yeah, if you like this kind of stuff, there's a good chance a lot of this will show up in my next ephemera show that I do and Whatnot, which I think will be Ephemerama here in a couple of weeks. Yeah, here's something, jewelry and novelty goods. Yeah, so there's still quite a bit of stuff in here. I'll move it a little quicker. Yeah, just all kind of bill heads in this thing. Here's the Samuel ACH Company Millinery Goods. See if we got any other different stuff. Looks like most of the rest of this stuff's just bill heads. And oh, what's this? Oh, that's just a folder with more stuff in it. So I'll look through that later. And then finally, it looks like there is a Unity, some kind of Bible lessons book. It says $1, but it was actually stuck in this journal. So you got that. And then here's Fur Facts from the Plymouth Fur Company. Necessary and interesting information about fur-bearing animals, the preparation of pelts, and the care of fur garments. 1908. So anyway, gives you all the different fur-bearing animals back when they used to wear a lot of fur. And here's a bunch of... Oh, this is cool. So this is, I don't know if it's complete, but it said at the time, I'll have to count them. It said there were 25 cigar bands, and each one bears an image of a different president of the United States. So, well, no, I don't guess they're Seeger bands, not cigar bands. It says this envelope contains full-line Seeger bands showing all presidents of the U.S. 25, large embossed centerpiece showing Uncle Sam, and a hanger for the plate. I wonder if these were like meant to be decorations for a plate that you would decorate yourself. Here's what they look like. Let's see if I can pull one out. And they do look like cigar bands. Does anybody, like, here's Thomas Jefferson. Never actually seen these. Let me see if I see the center. Oh yeah, and here's the Uncle. So it does have the big Uncle Sam, like almost like a die cut, but it is embossed. So I guess this would go in the center. Has anybody seen these? I mean, it sounds like if it's got a plate hanger in it, would you use these to decorate a plate? Would you put this in the center and then put all these other ones around the edge? It looks like it might possibly be complete. There's a bunch of them in there. Oh, and here we go. So there's the directions for making band and stamp plates with Swabian assortments. So here's what you would do with them. So it says trim all the white edges off bands all around. Place picture or frame in center on back of plate and fasten it down by applying 4 bands of stamps, one on top of each other. Apply balance of bands or stamps until plate is covered in such a manner as your own taste may suggest. Avoid placing bands or stamps of a color together. So it says to use your own taste, then it tells you not to put the same colors together. When buying plates, be sure to ask for Swabian round edges. They are the only plates that will not cut your fingers. So does anybody have any idea of what kind of... I don't think those are talking about dinner plates, but in any case, that's pretty cool. And then finally, the last thing, it says selections from favorite poems, compliments of Swift and Company. And then so anyway, that was a pretty cool binder full of stuff. Hope y'all enjoyed looking through that. That was the first time I looked through it as well. So I'll do some more looking through it, figure out how I'm going to get rid of all that stuff. Then just a couple other things I picked up. This is like a Ford Thunderbird user manual. I found that if you find user manuals out and about, they always sell real well because I guess people lose them and they're looking to replace it. Pretty sure this one was a Thunderbird. Let's see. Oh, I need to start the giveaway so we can do that. Yeah, this is a Thunderbird one. And then one more just old stack of letters. So that was my estates for sale find. And let me go ahead and get this giveaway started. All right, that is now pinned, or whatever you call it now, started. If you want to enter for the cabinet card. And I always try to give away in these shows just something that's representative of the type of stuff that I sell. So I definitely sell a lot of old photographs. So hopefully somebody will enjoy that. So far, only one person thinks they might want it. It's kind of a low crowd tonight, or low crowd this morning. So maybe everybody had a rough weekend and sleeping in. So, hey, Andrea West, Metropolis Scrapper, love to laugh, Zazen Girl, anybody else I've missed, appreciate you coming in. I do this show every Monday morning, start at 8:30, typically will end, depending on like what all's happening in the chat, and today it's been kind of dead, but A lot of times I'll have a lot of questions, so we may end up going a little past 9, but I'll do a giveaway to end the show, and then we'll go find somebody to raid. And then I get my day started. Today, my goal is I'm going to try to get a lot of stuff listed on the other online marketplaces that I sell on. I don't have a Whatnot show this week. I used to do Whatnot shows every week and sometimes multiple ones a week, but I don't know about anybody else who sells on Whatnot. I found that it was becoming all consuming and at the expense of everything else that I do. So I cut back to every other week roughly on Whatnot. Occasionally, if there's a special event I get asked to be in, I will do, another show in between. But for the most part, I go every other week now, and I try to not think about Whatnot too much in the off week, and focus more on getting stuff done related to my booths. And I sell on 6 other online platforms besides Whatnot, so focus on getting stuff listed on there. And I'm trying to get to 1,000 listings on my other platforms. I think I'm at around, I mean, it varies a little bit from platform to platform, but they're all within about 10 listings of each other. And I think I'm up to about 970 now. So about 30 more listings and I'll hit 1,000. Of course, and you're like stair stepping, which is a good problem to have. You'll list 5 things, you might sell 2 or 3. So it can take a little while to ramp up to there. I did have a cool sell last night. I listed this book, and it's one of those that's been just sitting around forever. I don't know why I hadn't listed it yet, but it was a 1903 book by John Fox. Was it John Fox Jr.? Can't remember the name of it, but it included a handwritten letter from him that he sent to a publisher, like listing all his books he'd written. And he had written it from somewhere in Virginia. And so I listed it, and literally within 2 minutes of listing it sold to somebody in the city in Virginia where he wrote the letter from. So I always think it's cool when I sell stuff that's got, appears to have some kind of backstory. So, the book and the letter are going back to the city where he wrote that letter from. And, I've had some other things like that where one time I sold these, like a whole bag of James Dean keychains, and I sold them to the James Dean Museum. And then one time I had like a Jesse James commemorative plate, and I sold that to the Jesse James Museum. So it's always cool when you sell stuff that's, going somewhere that it's going to be appreciated. Or the other cool sell that I had one time is I sold 24 of the state collectible plates. They're the ones that were typically made by Homer Laughlin, other companies like that, and they would have points of interest from the different states. This new restaurant in Washington, D.C., can't remember the name of it now, bought 24 of those at one time. So it was a fun packing day to get 24 of those plates all packaged up. It ended up being multiple boxes, um, but anyway, that was another cool, sell, knowing that my plates were going to be displayed, in some restaurant in Washington, D.C. One day I'll get over there and go eat there and see if I see any of the plates I sold them. So there's 30 seconds left on the giveaway if you want to get in. And, excuse me. And then if you'll stick around just long enough for us to get a raid started, then hey, Gail, my mother-in-law is now on here. We're just about to finish up, but I appreciate you stopping by. And yeah, so anyway, I forgot what I was saying. So yeah, after the giveaway runs here in 10 seconds, I'll look over here and see if there's anybody for us to raid. And then if y'all can stick around at least through the raid, I know people get really excited when somebody raids them. All right, Plate Smiles 0B won that. So this will be coming your way. It'll ship out today. As soon as I finish the show, I'll pop this in a cardboard mailer and send it your way. So congratulations on that. If nobody has any questions or anything, I will look over here real quick and see who we might want to raid. A lot of times it's the same 3 or 4 people that are on it when I'm on. So sometime I'll look in a different category. But we have 11 people in here right now. So we can at least send a few people. I was looking in the antiques category first, and there's really not a whole lot going on there. Let me look in the estate sale category and see if anybody's over there. Does anybody have anything exciting planned for this week? We are trying to get my daughter ready to go to Vancouver, Washington. She got a job there and she starts a week from, well, she doesn't start the job. She's leaving to drive to Vancouver, Washington from Knoxville in a week from today. So she's leaving on Labor Day, and a friend of hers is riding out there with her, and they're going to tent camp along the way. If you've seen my shows before, you know that particular daughter, along with one of my other daughters, they're very outdoorsy, and they're the ones who a couple of months ago just got back from doing 103 miles in the Swiss Alps, and they went to France, Spain, and Switzerland, I think it was. Last that night. I'll tell you what, let's go raid. How about the Snug Bungalow? So we'll not quite double their crowd, but we'll come pretty close. So if everybody can hang with me for just a second, we'll go over and see the Snug Bungalow. It looks like they are selling vintage variety this morning. Shop My Shelves Vintage Varieties, the name of the show. So anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by. Make sure you go to www.franklinhillventures.com, and that has links to all my social media, other platforms I sell on. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Check out my YouTube channel. I've been putting a little more of a focus on YouTube, trying to get more videos uploaded. I'm also now part of a podcast called Finders Flippers, and that's spelled weird. It's like with Y's instead of I's, and I do that with the Slim Picker, Wes, and then with Frizzy's Find, Johnny. So we do that. We record those every Sunday night, and then Wes usually posts those like either Monday or Tuesday. So I do have a link to that on my YouTube page, though. So yeah, check it out. And once again, appreciate everybody stopping by. Let's go ahead and raid the Snug Bungalow, and we will see y'all next Monday. I don't have another show this week, so Monday will probably be the next time that I see anybody. So y'all have a great week. And here we go over to the Snug Bungalow. See you, everyone.